Long ago, before science labs or telescopes, people looked up at the stars and asked big questions. Where did everything come from? Why is there something, not nothing? Who made the stars move? In many ancient places, like the Middle East and Greece, people had a similar answer. The world came from something greater, a great mind, a creator. They didn't separate science and religion. Looking at the sky made them feel wonder. Nature felt like a message, not just objects. In ancient Greece, some people began thinking deeply. They asked, how does the world work? Not to forget God, but to understand him better. One thinker, Aristotle, had an idea. Something must have started it all. He called it the unmoved mover. Not a regular God, but something perfect. It had no beginning. It caused everything, but wasn't caused. Many people agreed. They believed the world had a beginning, space and time were created, matter didn't just appear, it was made. Later, in Christian Europe, thinkers like Augustine and Thomas Aquinas kept these ideas alive. They believed religion and reason could work together. Aquinas asked, can we use our minds and still believe in God? His answer? Yes. He said, truth is truth. If something is true in science, it won't fight religion. God made nature and the Bible. So studying nature helped people know the Creator. Churches and early schools began to study both religion and the natural world. They learned about stars, plants, and logic because they believed knowledge brings us closer to God. Then came the Renaissance. People asked more questions. They found old books, traveled, made new tools, telescopes, microscopes. They saw new things. They wanted to understand more. This was the beginning of modern science. Back then, scientists were called natural philosophers, and most of them believed in God. They didn't see science and religion as enemies. They saw science as a way to understand God's creation better. Then came Isaac Newton, a genius. He discovered the laws of motion. He explained gravity. He showed that the same force makes apples fall and keeps the planets moving. But Newton didn't say, we don't need God. No. He said, look how well the universe works. That shows how great God is. To Newton, the universe was like a big machine. God made it. And it ran by his design. Newton once wrote, this beautiful system could only come from an intelligent and powerful being. He believed the laws pointed to the lawgiver. Newton's ideas changed everything. This started what we call classical physics. In this view, space is like a big, still stage. Time moves forward, always the same. Matter never disappears, only changes. It all followed clear rules, like a perfect machine. And many believed God made this machine and set it running. For a long time, people thought there was just one universe. Maybe it was always here. Or maybe God made it all at once. Some still believed the universe needed a maker. Others started to think it didn't. Science kept asking, how? But some now said, we don't need to ask why. This was when science and religion began to split. In the 1700s, a French scientist named Laplace made big progress. He used math to explain how planets and comets move. He believed the universe followed only laws. No miracles, no mysteries. He said, if we know all the forces and positions, we can predict everything. Someone asked why he didn't talk about God. He answered, I had no need of that idea. He wasn't angry. He was just sure the machine works by itself. That moment changed things. More people began to trust logic, more than religion. By the 1800s, some scientists said, religion, that's for Sunday. Science, that's for facts. They believed the universe was eternal. Space was empty but endless. Time always moved forward. Matter always existed. Creation? Just a story. Mystery for poets. Science, they said, could explain everything. But the deep questions didn't go away. If space and time are forever, where did they come from? If matter follows rules, who made the rules? If the universe is a machine, who built the machine? Science didn't have answers. Many stopped asking, but not everyone. Some said, even with all our knowledge, some truths are still beyond science. At the end of this chapter, things seemed calm. Science answered the how. Religion still asked the why. And many scientists hoped maybe science would explain both soon. But they didn't know. Big changes were coming. Space would bend. Time would stretch. And the universe, it had a beginning, a moment of creation. And those old questions of religion, they were coming back, this time from science itself. This is the story of religion and science, and it's just getting started.